Hello everybody, welcome to a tropical update here. This is a look at the Atlantic right now, and you can see we got a fairly active Atlantic here. We got post-tropical cyclone Epsilon racing on and off away from the satellite view here, and then of course the main game in town, at least in the Atlantic Basin, is of course newly formed tropical storm Zeta, which formed earlier this morning. Currently a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest here. This is the key messages from the National Hurricane Center for Tropical Storm Zeta. You can of course stop the video right now and read this if you want to. This is the English version, and here's the Spanish as well. And again, if you want to stop the video right now and read this, you can, but I'm not going to read the entire thing there. Here's the latest forecast cone for Tropical Storm Zeta here, and you can see as of 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, horizon number 6, center is currently located at 18.1 degrees north, 83.8 degrees west, maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 60 miles per hour, moving north-northwest at 2 miles per hour, and it's forecast to make landfall tomorrow evening or tomorrow night there as a 85 mile per hour category 1 hurricane over the Yucatan, unfortunately in roughly the same area where, if you remember not too long ago, Hurricane Delta made landfall. So really not a good situation for the Yucatan here. But like I said, it's forecast to make landfall as an 85 mile per hour category 1 hurricane here. And as you can see, they have it entering the Gulf of Mexico still as a Category 1 hurricane, maintaining 75 miles per hour in the Gulf of Mexico before it starts to weaken here as it enters the northern Gulf of Mexico here, or goes into the northern Gulf of Mexico, as I should say here, and it makes landfall. Looks like here there's in Louisiana, Mississippi, as far east as maybe the Louisiana, not the Louisiana, but the Alabama, Florida Panhandle area, as you can see in this forecast count. So still kind of a wide area of landfall possibilities with this storm here, but it's of course decreasing as time goes on here in terms of where the storm might make landfall. So we're getting more and more confidence here in where exactly Zeta will make landfall here. In terms of intensity wise, we're still kind of up in the air here. There's going to be a new reconnaissance plane that's going to head into Zeta here in about an hour or so, if not now, and gather more crucial data inside the storm and see if it's perhaps still maintain its intensity here, or maybe just gradually intensifying here if it's doing something else that we don't want it to do here. And it'll get, of course, that crucial data really soon here, and of course put that into the latest update the National Hurricane Center produces for this storm here. And you can see again, here's a look at the Zeta on infrared imagery. This time it's a closer up look here, and you can see it's producing over negative 80 degrees Celsius tops here, just around a general CDO here. The center circulation is just a little bit to the northwest of where all that convection is. It's right about, give or take, right about here. But once that center circulation gets drawn further into all that deep convection, then it could easily try to intensify into a hurricane here, like the National Hurricane Center are predicting here before it makes landfall in Yucatan. Here's a wide view of the Atlantic again, this time water vapor, and of course you can see on the top of your screen post-tropical cyclone Epsilon racing on off away from this view, and of course on the bottom left of your screen we got tropical storm Zeta in the Western Caribbean right now, and you can see quite the contrast here between the Gulf of Mexico here and the Caribbean here. Really quite the contrast here. In the Gulf of Mexico, really dry, stable air, which is of course not good at all for tropical cyclone development or intensification here. And then in the Caribbean here, we got really moist, favorable environment here for Zeta. And as you can see, here's radar imagery from the Cayman Islands here, and you can see just how the storm has kind of been throughout the past few hours here. This is kind of on the outer edges of the Cayman Islands weather radar here, so it's not going to get the best look per se at the exact center of circulation there, but you can see the general area of where the storm is turning here in the Caribbean here. So this gives you kind of like a basic idea of what the radar is showing off the Cayman Islands with the radar site. And here's a quick look at post-tropical cyclone Epsilon here as of October 26, 2023 a.m. GMT time, Advisory 29, which is the last advisory they're going to issue for this storm. Center is located at 48.6 degrees north, 38.8 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 70 miles per hour, making this a high-end tropical storm equivalent post-tropical cyclone. Moving northeast at 46 miles per hour. And again, this is the last that was the last advisory issued by the National Hurricane Center for this storm here, so they're not going to be issuing any more advisories for Epsilon. And again, this is satellite imagery here. This is water vapor imagery. This is a colored water vapor imagery look at Epsilon here, and you get to see how it's progressed over the past 2 hours. And here's a look at the other basin here, the West Pacific. Right now, we got a fairly active West Pacific. We got tropical depression Zeta, which is currently in the process of dissipating here, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, because they've issued their final advisory for the storm. Typhoon Malavey, also known as 21W, on the other hand, that just crossed over the Philippines this morning, is a completely different scenario here, and it's forecast to intensify here over the South China Sea to perhaps a high-end Category 2 typhoon. Then, of course, we got Invest 99W that still has a low chance of formation there. But here's quickly a look at tropical depression Zeta, and you can see this is the last advisory the Joint Typhoon Warning Center will issue on the storm, and then there's the satellite imagery there. Really fortunate news to see the storm's pretty much dissipated right before landfall here in Vietnam. So really good news on that front. What's not good news, of course, is Typhoon Malavey right now as it's crossed over the Philippines. Currently has winds of 75 knots, which is roughly about 85 miles per hour. Which makes it, of course, a Category 1 typhoon. But like I said, it's forecast to intensify and peak as a 95 knot or 100 mile per hour, 110 mile per hour Category 2, high-end Category 2 typhoon in South China Sea here before making landfall as a moderately strong Category 1 typhoon equivalent storm with about 80 knot wind, which is about, I think, 85 miles per hour, 90 miles per hour. So a potently, decently strong Category 1 storm there hitting Vietnam. So not something to take lightly at all. And here's satellite imagery of Typhoon Malavey here, and you can see just how the system's progressed here with time. Of course, as it went over the Philippines, it kind of lost its eye there. So we're not really seeing an eye really at all on this typhoon at this point. But once it gets an eye sorted out here and it gets a well-defined eye, it could easily start to intensify here, perhaps rapidly intensify, given the conditions the storm will be in until it nears landfall over Vietnam. So a system to take seriously here and one to really watch closely here. So of course, if you're in Vietnam, please stay tuned to your local officials here. Make sure you're listening to what they say and listen to their advice. And of course, for official updates on the system, of course, follow the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and Japan Meteorological Agency, respectively, for official updates on this typhoon here as it progresses over into the South China Sea. And again, this forecast to intensify as it does so. And let's quickly look at the Greek alphabet tropical cyclone names. You can see here we got cross out Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, and now Zeta because that formed earlier this morning. And I saw earlier that actually we aren't tied with 2005 in terms of named total tropical cyclones because I believe earlier this year we had a tropical depression form near the Cape Verde. I think it was the Cape Verdes or Cabo Verde Islands, far off and in the western Africa, off Western Africa here. So since that storm wasn't named, at least at this point, it wasn't named. They may designate it as an unnamed tropical storm in post analysis. Of course, they'll find out and do that in post-season analysis when they get around to doing it. But right now, we still technically haven't tied 2005 in terms of named total tropical cyclones here, but in terms of we haven't broken 2005's record or tied 2005's record at this point in time. But there's something interesting you might want to note as well. And of course, the next name up, if we go past Zeta, would be Eta. Then in that case, if we reach Eta, then we're tied 2005 in terms of named total tropical cyclones or tropical storm force storms, I should say, for an Atlantic hurricane season, not Zeta. If that makes any sense. I know that probably was confusion. I apologize for that. It's a little late here, so I might be jumbling my understandings here, so I apologize for that. But again, that's pretty much going to be about it for this topical update. Main takeaways from this topical update: Epsilon not a threat at all for the continental United States, and it wasn't really a threat for anybody in the continental United States for the most part here. Of course, we got the main thing to watch here closely, especially for you guys in the Caribbean and the Gulf Coast here. Keep a really close eye on here eye here on Tropical Storm Zeta here throughout the next few hours and days here. Listen to your local officials, listen to your local officials. If they tell you to evacuate, if they tell you to get out, you do it. And also listen to the National Hurricane Center for the latest official updates on the system. And of course, for you guys in the Western Pacific, keep an eye on. Those of you guys in Vietnam, keep a close eye on Typhoon Malavey. And of course, listen to your local officials as well there, and then also listen to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and the Japan Meteorological Agency, also known as the JMA, over there for official information on the storm itself. So just keep an eye on the tropics here. Of course, stay safe, everybody. I have the links down in the description below if you're interested on what sites that I used and what links that I used for the tropical update here. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I apologize for my kind of rambling on here. It's a little late here, and I'm kind of on the verge of sleep here, so I apologize if I got any information wrong. I really apologize for that. So, with that, that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Hope everybody has a great day and night, wherever you guys are. Stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.